Somewhere out there, between the cold emptiness that separates the stars, something ancient and impossible is moving toward our sun. Astronomers call it 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object ever to cross into our solar system. But what we're seeing defies every expectation of how the universe is supposed to behave. When it was first detected back in July, it was just a faint glimmer, barely distinguishable from background starlight. But now, only a few months later, it has transformed into something extraordinary. A traveler from another world racing through our cosmic backyard at 60 kilometers per second, accelerating as it dives straight toward the sun. And yet, what makes 3I Atlas truly mysterious isn't just its speed, it's everything else. Its glow is far brighter than models predicted. Its chemistry doesn't match any known comet. Its movement through space is eerily smooth, almost controlled. And for the first time in history, NASA's Mars rovers, not Earth-based telescopes, may have captured its passage through the night sky above another planet. Now, as it approaches its perihelion, the point of closest contact with the sun, scientists around the world are watching and waiting. Because what happens next could redefine everything we know about interstellar travel, solar physics, and maybe intelligent design itself. This isn't just another comet. It's a cosmic messenger, one that may not survive its encounter with the sun. But before it disappears, 3I Atlas might just reveal secrets that have been drifting through the galaxy for billions of years. It began, as most great discoveries do, almost by accident. In the quiet of a July night, while astronomers around the world sifted through endless streams of celestial data, a faint point of light appeared, barely visible, almost indistinguishable from the static glow of background stars. At first, no one paid attention. It was too dim, too ordinary, just another data blip in a sky filled with them. But one physicist, a theorist from the International Astrophysics Network, looked closer. The object wasn't behaving like a star or an asteroid. Its light was flickering in a way that didn't make sense, its brightness changing slightly from night to night, as if it were alive, as if it were moving against the background rather than with it. Within days, the signal was confirmed. This was something new, something moving through the solar system that didn't belong here. They named it 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected, following the legendary Oumuamua in 2017 and 2I Borisov in 2019. But even from those first nights, it was clear, this one was different. Unlike Borisov, which looked like a classic comet, and unlike Oumuamua, whose shape and motion still defy explanation, 3I Atlas seemed evolving. As more telescopes locked onto it, that faint dot of light began to grow. Its luminosity increased, its coma expanded, and its motion became smoother, as though it were adjusting to the conditions of our solar system, learning how to move within it. Within a few weeks, what had once been invisible was now dazzling through the eyepieces of the world's most powerful instruments. Scientists watched in awe as the object transformed before their eyes, a cosmic chrysalis unfolding across the vacuum of space. By the time it was officially classified, one thing had become certain. This wasn't a rock tumbling through the void. It was an active traveler, a body that had crossed light years of interstellar space to reach our sun. And as it continued to brighten and accelerate, one physicist summed up the global mood perfectly. The next great secret of the universe is happening right now. What began as a flicker, a whisper lost among the stars, had become a blazing mystery racing toward the heart of our solar system. And for the first time in human history, we weren't just observing an interstellar visitor from afar. We were about to witness it up close. From the moment 3I Atlas was first identified, astronomers knew it was special, but they didn't yet realize just how fast things were about to escalate. In the months that followed its discovery, this faint visitor from the stars began a breathtaking journey toward the center of our solar system. What was once a static point of light was now racing inward, accelerating under the pull of the sun's immense gravity. By early October, 3I Atlas had reached a speed of nearly 60 kilometers per second, moving with such force that it was covering more than 200,000 kilometers every hour. Yet its path wasn't erratic or chaotic, as one might expect from a body that had spent millions of years drifting through deep space. Its orbit was precise, clean, and shockingly stable. Astronomers calculated that within weeks, it would reach its maximum velocity, around 68 kilometers per second, as it skimmed dangerously close to the Sun between October 29th and 31st. That window, known as the perihelion, would mark the object's closest approach, just 0.36 astronomical units, or a little over a third of the distance between Earth and the Sun. For planetary scientists, it was a once-in-a-lifetime event. Never before had humanity been able to watch an interstellar object make such a close and observable pass near our star. In the words of one researcher, 3I Atlas isn't just visiting, it's diving headfirst into fire. The timing couldn't have been more critical. As the object plunged toward the inner solar system, it began to glow more intensely, its coma, the hazy envelope of dust and gas surrounding its core, expanding under the onslaught of solar radiation. Each increase in brightness told scientists that something inside it was reacting, changing, perhaps even breaking apart. But the more they studied it, the more confused they became. Comets from our solar system behave predictably when they near the Sun. Ice melts, gas escapes, and they brighten in smooth, measurable patterns. But 3I Atlas was different. Its brightness fluctuated erratically, increasing and decreasing without rhythm or reason, as though responding to forces that no one could model or explain. And yet, through it all, its trajectory remained unchanged, a razor-straight path through the chaos of solar wind and gravitational turbulence. No deflection, no drift, no sign of external disruption. It was as if it were being guided, its course locked onto an invisible rail through the void. This unnerving precision left astronomers divided. Some insisted that natural dynamics could account for its behavior, that perhaps its density or mass distribution was simply unlike anything we'd seen before, but others whispered a far stranger possibility. What if 3I Atlas wasn't entirely at the mercy of physics? For now, all anyone could do was watch as the object continued its descent, a blazing alien messenger falling toward the heart of the Sun. If anything unusual was going to happen, it would happen soon. And every observatory, satellite, and space mission across the inner solar system was watching, waiting for the moment when the universe would blink again. By early October, as 3I Atlas hurtled closer to the Sun, a rare cosmic alignment was forming, one that no scientist could have planned, but every space agency on Earth was desperate to exploit. On October 3rd, the interstellar traveler passed within 1/4 of the Earth-Sun distance from Mars, a proximity so perfect that the red planet found itself in an ideal vantage point to observe the phenomenon. For the first time in history, humanity would have the chance to see an interstellar object not from Earth, but from another world. Mars, our silent outpost on the cosmic frontier, had become the ultimate observation platform. At the European Space Agency, the Mars Express Orbiter and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter adjusted their instruments for chemical and optical readings. At NASA, both the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and the MAVEN spacecraft were repositioned to capture data. And beyond them, in the thin Martian atmosphere, the Perseverance rover waited, its cameras trained toward the dark horizon, ready to record whatever appeared above the red dunes of Jezero Crater. Then, on the night of October 2nd, as the skies over Mars fell into darkness, Perseverance began a 9-minute exposure, a long, patient stare into the alien night. When the image was finally transmitted back to Earth, what it revealed sent ripples through the scientific community. Across the frame, cutting diagonally through the blackness, was a bright, thin streak of light, not a random flash or cosmic ray, but a continuous trail of motion, stretching perfectly across multiple exposures. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't a satellite. It wasn't a meteor. Every angle, every coordinate, matched the predicted position of 3I Atlas as it passed by Mars. For the first time, an object from another star had been photographed from another planet. Astronomers quickly verified the details. The angle of the trail corresponded exactly to the direction of the comet's inbound path. The brightness matched the readings from orbiting instruments, and its apparent motion across the Martian sky was consistent with its speed, nearly 60 kilometers per second. On Earth, where telescopes were already losing sight of the object due to solar glare, the confirmation from Mars was groundbreaking. For those few hours, every mission orbiting or resting on the Martian surface was looking at the same alien visitor, recording data that would take months to fully analyze. In laboratories and control centers, scientists stared at the images with a mix of disbelief and awe. Humanity had always looked outward from one world, but now we were seeing the universe from two. Mars had become our mirror, and in it, we'd captured the reflection of something ancient, something that had crossed unimaginable distances to reach us. If the readings were accurate, 3I Atlas's passage near Mars had revealed even more anomalies. A brightness that exceeded predictions, a coma that expanded against the solar wind, and spectral traces suggesting chemical reactions unlike any known cometary process. But perhaps the most haunting thought came from a planetary scientist who looked at the streak of light across the Martian sky and quietly said, "We used to think we were alone in watching the stars. Now the stars are watching back from another planet." 3I Atlas had already defied the laws of celestial mechanics. But with this unprecedented encounter, it had done something even greater. It had united two worlds in a single act of observation. For the first time, Earth and Mars had both turned their eyes toward the same mystery from beyond the stars. And as its orbit carried it onward toward the sun, one question lingered across every mission control room in silence. If we can see it this clearly, what exactly is seeing us? As the final days of October drew near, 3I Atlas reached the most dangerous stage of its journey, the perihelion, the moment it would pass closest to the sun. Astronomers had spent months preparing for this, calculating its trajectory, predicting its brightness, and speculating on whether it would survive the encounter at all. The numbers were staggering. Between October 29th and 31st, the interstellar traveler would dive to a mere 0.36 astronomical units from the sun, just over one-third the distance between Earth and our star. To put that in perspective, this meant 3I Atlas was about to enter a region of solar radiation hundreds of times more intense than what Earth receives. Any ordinary comet would have vaporized instantly under those conditions, its ice boiling away, its dust tail disintegrating, its nucleus shattered by the raw violence of the sun's heat. But 3I Atlas wasn't ordinary, and scientists knew it. Every previous observation suggested that this object didn't play by the rules. Since crossing into the inner solar system, its behavior had defied every known cometary model. Its coma had expanded in directions that contradicted the solar wind. Its chemical emissions were dominated not by water vapor, but by carbon dioxide and metallic compounds. And despite the tremendous heat, it had shown no signs of destabilization. Instead, it grew brighter, its luminosity surging to a magnitude of 12, far more intense than predictions had ever allowed. Now, as it hurtled toward its closest approach, astronomers around the world braced for what they called the moment of truth. Would the object disintegrate in a burst of light? Would it fragment into 1,000 glowing shards like so many comets before it? Or would it do the unthinkable, survive? From Earth, no one could see it. During these crucial days, 3I Atlas was completely hidden behind the sun, lost in the glare of the solar corona. The planet was blind. The only eyes left watching were robotic ones, instruments orbiting Mars, probes deep in the solar system, and solar observation satellites like SOHO and SPHEREX, positioned to detect even the faintest trace of what was about to happen. Inside NASA's and ESA's monitoring rooms, tension ran high. Every frame, every spectrographic reading from these instruments could hold the answer to one of astronomy's most pressing questions. How does a body from another star react to the most extreme conditions our solar system can offer? For days, data streamed in sporadically, patches of brightness, heat spikes, fragments of infrared signatures. None of it made sense. 3I Atlas wasn't evaporating the way scientists expected. Instead, the readings suggested that it was resisting disintegration, its core somehow stable even as temperatures exceeded 1,000 degrees Celsius. It was behaving almost as if it had an internal strength, or structure, beyond that of fragile ice and rock. One researcher described it poetically. Every comet we've ever known dies at the sun. But this one, it's fighting back. And then, silence. For hours, no signals, no updates, nothing. The object had disappeared completely from every sensor. The universe itself seemed to hold its breath. When the first data trickled in again, scientists were stunned. There was no explosion, no visible debris trail, no sign of destruction. Against every prediction, 3I Atlas had survived the perihelion. Whatever it was made of, whatever forces held it together, they had allowed it to withstand a solar inferno that should have annihilated it completely. That single fact changed everything. The object wasn't just an interstellar traveler anymore. It was a survivor, a messenger that had faced the sun and endured. And now, as it began its long climb away from the star, glowing faintly in the aftermath of its encounter, a new question began to rise among scientists and philosophers alike. If something can travel between stars, withstand the fury of the sun, and continue on its path unchanged, is it truly just a comet? Or have we just witnessed something built, something meant to endure? For weeks after its fiery plunge past the sun, 3I Atlas vanished from sight. The intense solar glare made any attempt to observe it impossible. Telescopes on Earth, blinded by the radiance of the perihelion, could only wait. But astronomers knew that if the interstellar traveler had truly survived its close encounter with the sun, it would soon re-emerge from the opposite side, weaker perhaps, but still carrying the scars and the secrets of its solar passage. That reappearance finally came in December, when the object once again slipped into view. And to the astonishment of scientists, it was still intact. No fragmentation, no dramatic trail of debris, nothing to suggest that the encounter with the sun had destroyed it. Against every model and prediction, 3I Atlas endured. Telescopes from around the world turned their gaze skyward, hoping to capture what was left of it. Observatories across Europe, North America, and Chile joined the effort, combining data in one of the largest coordinated observation campaigns in recent memory. The first readings came back faint, but unmistakable. The object's coma had changed. Its luminosity was lower, its color shifted subtly, and its chemical composition now bore traces of intense solar processing. Something inside it had reacted, transformed, perhaps even evolved. Spectrographic data revealed new emission lines, altered ratios of carbon compounds, faint hints of metals, and molecular remnants that hadn't been there before. Scientists believe that during its brush with the sun, parts of its surface may have vaporized, exposing deeper, untouched layers of material that had been sealed for billions of years. In other words, 3I Atlas had not only survived its encounter, it had revealed its core. For planetary scientists, this was a moment of pure discovery. No spacecraft had ever traveled between the stars, but this object had, and now it was offering a glimpse of what interstellar matter truly looks like after eons of drifting through the void. Each photon of light it reflected carried data about a world we will never see, perhaps one that no longer exists. Still, questions lingered. If its structure could endure the sun's wrath, what exactly was it made of? Was it dense metal? A crystalline core? Or something humanity had never encountered before? Material designed to resist heat, radiation, and time itself? As 3I Atlas moved farther from the sun, its path began to stabilize once again. Its speed decreased, its brightness softened, and it resumed its outward journey, back toward the deep, silent dark from which it came. For now, it was moving away, fading with each passing night, but not disappearing entirely. Telescopes continued tracking it, collecting what little light it still offered, determined to squeeze every secret from this quiet survivor. Astronomers estimate that within a few months, 3I Atlas will be too faint for even the most powerful instruments to detect. By then, it will have crossed beyond Jupiter's orbit, bound once more for the interstellar abyss. It may never return, and yet, its brief visit has already changed everything. For the first time, humanity witnessed an interstellar traveler dive into the sun and live to tell the story. Its endurance has redefined our understanding of matter, energy, and what can survive between the stars. As one researcher wrote in the final observation log before the object faded beyond detection, 3I Atlas came from a place we cannot imagine, endured what should have killed it, and left us with the realization that some things in the universe are not meant to be destroyed. Now, all that remains is the faint, lingering echo of its light, a cosmic afterimage of a traveler from another world, continuing its endless voyage back into the cold between the stars. It came, it burned, it survived, and in doing so, it reminded us that the universe still has stories left to tell. When 3I Atlas first appeared as a dim flicker in the night sky, few could have imagined that it would become one of the most extraordinary stories in modern astronomy. It came from nowhere, gliding into our solar system from the black infinity between stars, carrying within it the history of a place we will never see, a fragment of another sun, another world, another time. We watched as it raced toward our star, accelerating to impossible speeds, resisting radiation that should have torn it apart, and glowing with colors no scientist could explain. We saw it pass near Mars, a lonely visitor from the void captured by the eyes of our robots on another planet, an image that will remain in our archives long after we're gone. Then it vanished behind the sun, where we expected it to die, only to emerge again from the blaze, intact, transformed, and defiant. In surviving the inferno, 3I Atlas rewrote what we thought was possible. It forced scientists to question everything they believed about matter, heat, and the physics that govern our universe. How could an object endure temperatures that melt steel? How could something from another star system remain stable, consistent, and perfectly balanced as it brushed the edge of destruction? The answers may take decades to uncover, if they ever come at all. But one truth has already emerged from the silence it left behind. 3I Atlas is not just an object. It's a message. A reminder that the cosmos is still alive with mystery, that the unknown is not something to fear but to chase. It reminds us that we are explorers, that our questions are the engines of discovery, and that wonder is humanity's oldest language. As it now fades into the dark, its faint light still detectable by a few final telescopes, one can't help but wonder, where did it come from? Who or what might have sent it on its path? And will it ever return? Maybe 3I Atlas was simply a natural wanderer, born from cosmic chaos and sculpted by eons of interstellar drift. Or maybe it was something more. A messenger, traveling the galaxy not by chance but by purpose, leaving traces of intelligence hidden in the very physics of its survival. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. 3I Atlas has shown us that the universe is far from silent. It speaks through the things it creates, through the mysteries it reveals, and through the questions it leaves unanswered. And as the last echoes of its journey fade into the cosmic night, humanity is left with one thought, whispered not by science but by awe itself. If something can cross the stars, face the sun, and survive, what else is out there, watching, waiting, and on its way?